Okay, I'm talking today with Tia Bales, who's gone from being a Whyalla junior basketballer all the way through to being a member of the North Adelaide Rockets Women's Premier League Premiership team last winter. Okay, Tia, so can you tell us, when did your basketball journey start?
So my basketball journey started in 2008 when I moved to Whyalla. I become a part of the Demons Club.
Okay, so, what age was that?
Under 10s.
Under 10s, okay. And so when did you realise that basketball was something you really want to get into?
I think I tried out for my first combined team and I made it. And I think from the first carnival, which was Port Augusta, I realised that this is something that I wanted to do for a living.
Yeah. Okay. So, do you know what it was? Was there one particular thing about it that you enjoyed?
I think it was just the friendships that I made. Like my parents have always had competitive blood, and that's come through me. So I think being able to be competitive and win with friends is something that I love doing.
Okay. Okay. So locally, you played for Demons.
Yes, I started with Demons.
Stayed with Demons, and then to
Wildcats.
At what age group was that?
So I moved to Wildcats in under 14s, I reckon.
Right.
I just moved there with a bunch of netball friends, and we went in. I think we did a 7-season undefeated.
Okay.
So undefeated for 7 seasons, and then I moved to Titans for my senior.
Okay. So we'll go back through your junior time. So who are the players and coaches that you remember playing?
Probably Keith Schroeder was a big influence on my basketball. He taught me all the fundamentals, all the skill-based stuff. I then had hoops, so Darren Hoffman. He was also a junior coach at Demons. I had Sean Clements there for a bit. Wildcats, I had Alicia Waugh. I had my group of friends like Talia Hines, Madeline Foran, Alice Morgan. All those netball girls, Sarah Simmons. I played with a lot of them, and I think having that friendship group through combined made it even better in local league.
Okay. So you started playing with the Steelers.
Yes.
And what did you enjoy most about that step up in competition and travel?
I liked travelling. I liked experiencing the game in a different way, in the sense that we got to play against different associations, so we weren't playing against each other all the time. We got to go away with our families and to different towns, and all of us were competitive, so we always loved winning, and I think that winning culture made Steelers more fun. So I did a bit of seniors with Wildcats and played with Jenna Balderstone and all that. Learned a lot from them. I then decided to move to Titans just for a bit of a change, and I got to play with Ebony Kerwood, who was also a big influence in my junior coaching, and Taylor Breen.
Okay.
So,
who were the toughest players? As a 16-year-old?
Yeah.
Going into A grade, who were the toughest players to play against?
Probably Jenna.
Yep.
She was a giant to me.
Yep.
She was very tall. And also, Demons team back then was Jasmine Bridgman, Bianca Clements, all those girls. Like, they just had the experience and the knowledge, and I think coming up against that was tough.
Okay, so also through that period then you started playing with SA Country?
Yes.
So how did that come about, and where did you play?
So I didn't actually know that was really a thing until a family friend, I went down to Adelaide for a weekend, and a family friend got me involved with Mavericks basketball, which is district, and then obviously state trials came up, and I just trialled and happened to get in. So it wasn't, I didn't really know much about it until it kind of got offered to me.
So that was under 16s, under
14s. Under 14s.
And is that the competition they have in Albury?
Yes.
That one?
Yeah. So I went top age under 14s. I went to Albury, and then 15s I did the Southern Cross Challenge.
Okay.
So,
You also played in national championships?
Yes, I've played in 2 national championships. Both times we finished 5th, which was a pretty good effort by us, I think.
You also played internationally?
Yes.
You played in New Zealand?
Yeah, I played for New Zealand my first year of state. So from Albury I got selected in the Australian country team. So that was a team made up of New South Tasmania, WA and all that. We went over to New Zealand and we actually won the gold.
Yeah. And since then you've also been to the States.
Yes, I also went to America for a tour with Adelaide All-Stars. So it was just a bunch of us country girls that have been through the state system. We went over to the States with our district coach at that time. It was more for us to get exposure to colleges over there. We had a few scouts come out and watch our games, and yeah, it was just more to see what basketball lifestyle over there was.
And did you travel around much over there?
So we just travelled around California. So we had a couple of games in San Francisco, a couple of games in Compton. We also went to San Diego, and yeah, that's where our main games were held.
Okay. Is that a lifestyle you could get into?
No, and I think that's why I decided not to go to college. It wasn't the fact I loved the basketball over there, but the everyday lifestyle just didn't fit with me, and both had to work for me.
Yep. Okay.
I'd like to thank Paddo, or Stephen Patterson, Toddy and Baldy from SA Country Basketball. They were the big influences. They kept me interested in the basketball through TI camps and stuff like that. A massive thanks to Ebony Kerwood, Sean Sheedy and Michael Quinn. They were probably the three biggest coaches I've had in my junior career. You know, just their up-tempo coaching style made me want to win more, made the culture better, and just made me, you know, want to be a better self.
So you've mentioned netball. Is that the only other sport that you played through this time?
Yeah, so I did netball and basketball for ages, and it got to the point where I had to make a decision. So, which was probably the toughest decision of my life.
Yeah. Okay. Now tell us about playing in the district competition in Adelaide. You started playing there in juniors, and then ended up, as recently as last season, playing in the Women's Premier League Premiership.
Yes.
So how did all that come? You've played with one team, teams you've played within?
So I've played for 3 teams. I started off at Mavericks, so Mount Barker. The only reason I really moved from that club was I was still doing schooling and living in Whyalla. So in district you move around, you're not at the same stadium every game. So every second week was a home game, which added an extra hour and 45 minutes to our travel. So we were travelling, 6 hours for a game. Yeah. So I decided to move to Norwood, which is where my SA Country coaches were, so Trudy Island. She was there, and all of my SA Country friends from York Valley and all that were there. Norwood was a really good club. They really helped my junior development. It got towards the end of the season, we did nationals over in Ballarat with them. We won a bronze. But it just got to that point where, again, I was ready for that change. I was ready for something more, and North provided that. They gave me an opportunity to train with the Premier League squad as well as playing juniors.
Yep.
So
the star of the North Adelaide Premier League team is?
Jo Hill.
Jo Hill?
Yes.
Okay, so she's a hero?
Yes. So my coach was Brenton Johnson.
Right.
And he was amazing. He was real tough on us, which I think is what most players need. He brought the best out of everyone.
Tell us about the training commitment to play at that level.
So training commitment is from November to February, is a 4-day pre-season. So we did 2 days running, gym and swimming for our pre-season, and then once pre-season was over, it was into 2 nights a week, hour and a half to 2 hours training. They were the compulsory trainings. You then had individuals that you could do. So at that point, I was training on a Monday for an hour and a half, playing reserves on a Tuesday, training at 6 a.m. on a Wednesday for an hour, training on a Thursday for 2.5 hours, and then Saturday was game day, but you would also have a training session game day for an hour, shoot around, and then you would have to be at the game an hour beforehand, because your warm-up goes for about half an hour. So pretty full.
So what age were you when you were doing this?
So I started when I was 16. I moved to Adelaide by myself when I was 15 because it was affecting my schooling and that. So
you boarded with somebody? Or?
I just stayed with a family friend, and I went to Henley High.
Okay. So who are the best players that you've seen at that level playing in the Premier League? Who are the best players you played with and against?
Probably Jo Hill was a big influence. Obviously, she's a basketball legend. Kirsty Williams, she also in my team. She was our captain. I just liked the way she defended. Like, she was probably our best defensive player. All of our imports that we've had, so we've had a girl named Riri, she was our point guard, and we had Leah Metcalf come over last year. I think getting people from the States, you get to learn a bit more and learn their kind of style, and you can develop yours. Yeah, the other teams, I didn't really know them that much because I've only just kind of started senior basketball, but like the Molly Kendricks and all that who are involved in SA Country Basketball, watching them play and just watching all the senior experienced women play, you get to learn and develop off of them.
Okay, you started coaching.
Yes.
What's the hardest part and the best part about coaching?
Hardest part would be coming in as a coach from a player's perspective, not being able to get on that court and do what you're telling them to do. That's probably the hardest thing about it. But I think the best thing is being able to share your knowledge with, and being able to relate to them because you've been in that position before. And I think some coaches struggle with that, like not being able to relate to players and not knowing, when they're frustrated and when they're not. So I think coming through as a player and now starting coaching, I can relate to players a lot better and being able to, connect with them better, which makes them perform better.
Okay, and then, so where to from here? You're currently at uni?
Yes.
What are you studying?
So I'm studying social work.
And how far into that are you?
So I'm in my second year at the moment, and then I start placement next year.
Very good. And future goals, future basketball goals?
So short-term goals would be to expand my minutes in the next few seasons. So obviously some people wouldn't know, but in Premier League you have to sit your time on the bench, you have to work hard to get minutes on the court. So I feel like I've done that time now. So next, say 2 to 3 seasons would be to get maximum minutes on the court, and then from there I want to try and get into QBL, which is Queensland Basketball League, get a few more seasons there, and then Victorian League, just kind of get more experience around Australian basketball, and then hopefully from there WNBL.
Tia Bowles, congratulations and well done, and all the best for your future.
Thank you.